Hi there. So there were a bunch of people who wanted a Cagliostro video from me, so I decided to deliver. I want to say I do not consider myself an authority on this character. I'm just a random girl on the internet who played a lot of the character. This video is not gonna be about the best build. It's not gonna be what I think is like min-maxing the character and playing it to the best of its abilities. This is just me going over the character, going over the skills, going over how I enjoy playing the character. I'm gonna go over all the combos, I'm gonna go over the skills, I'm gonna go over all these things. I'm gonna assume this video will be a little bit longer, so please use the timestamps below. But keep in mind, this stuff will build up on each other, so for best experience, please try to watch the entire video. And what we're gonna start with are Cagliostro's basic attacks and combos. So it's worth mentioning comboing is a little bit different to most other characters because triangle attacks are actually 2 inputs. So if you do a square attack this here and then go into that triangle attack, you actually need to do 2 to do the combo finisher. So if you just do this, this is not a combo finisher. And the reason why this is important will also be later in the Sigil video, so keep that in mind. So we have the square triangle combo, we have the square triangle combo. This one is usually used for when you're surrounded. We have this sword combo, the triple square combo, and we have the final combo, 4 squares into combo finisher. So these are all the basic combos. Additionally, if you press triangle and hold it, you can charge up your projectile collapse and you can shoot it. It has a really long range, but it does not go infinitely. So if you're too far away, you might actually miss. You can also just tap the button to shoot it instantly. You see it does very little damage. It might be useful to pick up some ads that fly in the air or something like that. And you can also charge it to only 1 stage, right? It's gonna be weaker than fully charged one. And then if you use your triangle charge after a combo, it charges faster. So you can see it's already instantly charged. So you speed up the charge very, very quickly. So these are the basic combat functions of Cagliostro. We're not gonna go into skills just yet. I want to go over every combo. I want to demonstrate you the DPS it does. I'm gonna do it over 30 seconds each. I'm gonna do the same starter. I'm gonna use my buff. I'm gonna dash in with Pain Train, so we can always get the same conditions for every combo. We're gonna measure this over 30 seconds. And I will also show you jump canceling, and I will also show you into charging your collapse, because generally collapse is a DPS loss. I'm gonna demonstrate all 4 of those, only in the highest damaging combo, the sword combo. I'm not gonna do all of them for every single one, so keep that in mind. So let's get started with the sword combo without jump canceling, without charging or anything. We're gonna set the time limit here to 30 seconds. Excellent. I'm gonna start with the buff, dash in.
Let's roll. Like clockwork. Like clockwork.
So you can see this was the combo without jump canceling. We did 4.4 million damage, and now we're gonna compare it with jump canceling.
Class is in session. Phantasmagoria.
And we did 5.2 million damage. As you can see, chunk canceling. This is basically the best way to do your damage. If you have the appropriate gear for it, you have to be really well geared. If you have like a weaker setup, other combos might be more efficient for you. I'm just solely talking about endgame. So yeah, this is the highest damage you will get. But I will also show you with charging. I'm gonna show you with charging, but without jump canceling, and then after that we're gonna do the same, but with jump canceling.
Class is in session. Let's roll.
So we did 4.8 million damage. So this is a little bit more than the combo without jump canceling, but it's less than the combo with jump canceling, right? And now we do the same, but we jump cancel into a charge attack.
Donating yourself to alchemy, noble.
So as you can see, 4.9 million. So these are basically all the ways you can combo, right? With cancels and stuff like that. And as you can see, just jump canceling and spamming your sword combo is actually the highest damage. So I would recommend you doing that. Now obviously, if you're using the Sigil, that makes it so your attacks will apply the defense down, and you think that's gonna be useful for you. What the hell am I pressing? Okay, here. I have this on, right, just for showcase. If you think you benefit from this because your team is not like fully geared or anything, you can obviously go for the combo to help your team out do more damage. But as I said, we're going into Sigils fully later on. So now we are gonna go over every combo. I'm gonna demonstrate the same, but I'm just gonna do the combos with jump canceling, and we're only gonna do one of them, so we don't have to repeat every combo 4 times.
Donating yourself to alchemy, noble. Let's roll. Dissection time. Adios. Open up. Adios. Dissection time. Adios.
As you can see, 4.1 million. As I said, this is more used for AoE. I really do not use this ever, to be honest. Let's go into the spiked, the one square combo.
Session. Let's roll.
Let's 3.4 million. So you might think this damage is really low, and that's the reason, because we are attacking a small target. This attack actually becomes extremely strong against big targets, like if you fight a dragon or any other major boss that is like really big. I would recommend you to use this combo especially because it has a really good Sigil synergy that we're gonna talk about later. And as I said, on small targets, it's really not that good. It's also worth mentioning the last hit of the combo finisher, the last spikes. They actually track the target a little bit, so that often goes further than the normal combo length that you have. I cannot demonstrate it here because the ship is a bit too small. And lastly, we are gonna go into the big combo finisher combo.
Excellent. Donating yourself to alchemy. Noble. Let's roll.
We did 4.3 million damage. So these are all the combo routes that we have, right? As I said, I would recommend the Saw combo. I generally do not use collapse in most combos, just because, well, it's not really that good for DPS, and I do not need a defense down from the Sigil. So these are all the combos. They all build different some amount of SPA. You can go back in the video and look at all the SPA gauges, how much they filled up. It's worth mentioning this combo on big targets is absolutely insane when it comes to SPA regeneration. Yeah, and that's all the combos. So next up we can go over Cagliostro skills. So these are the 4 skills I usually use, okay? We have Rhizomata, we have Phantasmagoria, we have Pain Train and Reinforce. Let's go over all of them one by one. Rhizomata is the revive spell, very simple, there's not much more. It does not heal or anything, and when you revive someone with the spell, you will heal half of their max HP, so they will be revived with half of their health. Really not much else to say. I believe if you get revived, you have a brief moment of invincibility, so even though you get revived with half health, you're probably still safe, and you can always follow up with your healing spell. And let's go over to Reinforce. So Reinforce is a circle AoE, it's pretty big. It does a large amount of healing. There is actually a healing cap and also a healing stat, so the healing is a bit weird because the healing is percentage max health, but it only goes up to a healing cap. So if you have someone who plays tank and you have a really low healing cap, you might only heal like about half of the HP with one heal. I can show you here right now. I heal 17,000. I don't use any healing switches right now. So it heals about 60 to 70% depending on what kind of masteries you have and like over mastery and all that kind of stuff. And obviously this goes higher if you have like healing boosting sigils. Then let's go over Phantasmagoria. So it boosts attack, defense, and critical hit. Technically that's really good, but I do not think it is that great, because when you play with random people, or if you play like just in random groups, you know, like you basically need to have a static group to make full benefit from it. What I mean by static group is basically you have 3 friends that you know you play with, and you can kind of plan your builds around this buff. When you play with random people, most people, they will max out their attack and critical hit rate on their own. So, you know, it loses a lot of value in that. And while it buffs defense as well, the defense buff is not that great. And then we have Pain Train. So this is a dashing damaging skill. It has a really low cooldown, and I mainly use this in my skills because it gives a lot of mobility. So as you can see here, We can travel quite a long distance with it. It's worth noting after the dash ends and Ouroboros will fly outwards. That actually does damage as well. It goes a little bit further than how far you dash. As I said, the cooldown is really low. I only use this because it gives a lot of mobility. It's really nice because if you do not have any mobility, it can be harder to, you know, like catch up to an enemy or just get out of like an AoE or something like that. So that's why I use these skills. And let's go over the rest of the skills. Okay, so first up we have Mimic Doll. I use this skill for quite a long time, but I just feel like it's really not that good. It doesn't do much damage, but it lets you dodge backwards. And that is very valuable. I think it gets outclassed by Pain Train. One very interesting thing about the Mimic Doll is when you have the doll out, it actually draws aggro or hostility, how it is called in this game. So if you use this in the middle of an enemy pack, enemies will actually target the Mimic and group up on it, although it explodes rather quickly, so, you know, so it's not really a good tool to manage like aggro for a long period of time. We have Mehen. It's a trap, and I think this skill is really bad. So while it says here attack down, the problem with this is it only afflicts the attack down when it is fully charged up. What I mean by fully charged up, when you put down the skill, you see there's a little circle going inwards and it takes time to charge up the trap. So if you just use the skill, it's actually not gonna afflict the attack down. It only afflicts it after it is fully charged. And the problem with this is you cannot put this beneath an enemy, right, to charge it up. So as you see, if I just cast it, it's just gonna go boom, right? And there's no charging up, so it doesn't get the attack down debuff. The traps also don't last super long. I think they're really unpractical to use. Well, this is actually one of my favorite skills thematically. I really enjoyed it, partly because I play Cagliostro and granblue Fantasy Versus as well, and I have a very trap-heavy playstyle there. I just do not think it's good. Disruption, I think it's a really bad spell. So what it does is it dispels one buff, right? And it does damage. The damage is meaningless. And the buff removal, to my knowledge so far, very, very useless. So I've only used this once in the entire game. And that was in my ultimate playthrough on the PlayStation 5. There was a mini-boss, it was a shadowy figure, and it has a regen buff. And the regen actually heals it to like full health every few seconds, so I could not kill it. And Disruption had me kill that enemy. That was the only time I ever found use in this. I think it's a garbage spell. Maybe I'm missing something, but yeah, I don't ever use this. Alexandria, it's pretty decent in terms of it being an AoE around you. It might be decent if you do stuff like farming missions like Assault Formation or Slimepedia. The damage is not really that great, and charging Collapse after is not really a huge boost because, as I said, I don't really ever use that because I don't think it's that good of a damage. And we can go through all the skills to check how much damage they do. We have to be mindful about crits, so this does about 200,000. We have Disruption. It does 100,000. Let's see, Mimic Doll. 350,000. And we have Alexandria doing 380,000-ish damage. 360,000-ish damage. and this does about 600,000 damage. Pain Train, as I said, is pretty good skill. I generally don't use it too much for damage, but you can definitely use it as, and you can all see the cooldown's almost over, so Pain Train, genuinely a good skill. That's why I use it over all the others, and obviously I use the heal, revive, and the buff because I like playing healer and support, so that's why I use these. Yeah, that is all of the skills of Cagliostro. So let's go into the build. This is not the real build that I'm using. I just did this for damage showcase, so we see the max damage we can do. This is pretty much as high as you can go almost. I'm missing a little bit of damage cap, but it's okay. I think for demonstration it's still fine. I've put both of these here so we can go over them real quick. Founder's Truth, I think it's pretty good. I like to use it. It refreshes cooldown whenever you did the second triangle attack. And that becomes especially good if you do the spike attack, the square triangle, because you get a ton out of ton combo finishers out. So that in that sense, it's really good. Also, we want cooldown reduction because as a support, we want access to our spells, right? So that helps. I found a strategy, as I said before. You probably have to build a team around this, same as Phantasmagoria, right? In general, I would say it's not usable, which is sad because I actually love Collapse as a skill. It looks really cool, but yeah. These are the two character-specific sigils. You can get both of them together on the same sigil, but you have to be lucky with Transmarvel and stuff like that. And now, let's go into my actual build. So this here is my actual build. Obviously we have damage cap, right? We have supplementary damage just to get a little bit more damage out. I might actually change this out later on, maybe, I'm not sure. Critical hit damage, obviously. I'm running 84% critical hit chance because I have Phantasmagoria, right? So I can max out my crit rate with that. Cascade, it synergizes with Founder's Truth, right? Founder's Truth is what gives us cooldown reduction. Cascade also gives us cooldown reduction here. Basically, whenever you do hit an enemy, right? So that's basically how I try to lower the cooldown of my attacks, of my spells, so I can support more. I'm running Dodge Payback. Dodge Payback is... What the hell is it? Oh, here. Basically it just gives you a long invincibility. I'm gonna level this up eventually, so it goes up to 2 seconds. I really enjoy perfect dodging, so being more rewarded for it, I think is really nice. We're gonna see here also I have another one. Let's see here, Nimble Onslaught, right? Extends invincibility after perfect dodge, also 2 seconds, and gives us cooldown reduction and SPA gauge. So as you can see, I enjoy a really perfect dodge focused build. With this combined, you have like 5 or 6 seconds of invincibility after dodging, and you get some SPA and cooldown reduction as well. And since I have more of a support setup, the dodge payback, it gives a little bit of attack. I'm not sure if this does much, to be honest, but nice to have anyway, I suppose. Then we have stamina. Stamina just boosts damage when you're high health. I generally try to not take damage, and if I take damage, I'm probably dead anyway, so I use stamina just to get a big damage bonus. It's like critical hit is obvious. Supplementary damage obvious, concentrated fire. So this I actually do not want. This only boosts the damage of our charged triangle attack. This is on one of my... Here, this is on here. I did not want it to have this. I'm only using this because it is on my Founder's Truth one. If I get a better Founder's Truth with a different effect, I'm gonna use that over concentrated fire, so please don't think I'm taking this with purpose. Improve guard. I like guarding a lot. I think guarding becomes really valuable in endgame. It just makes things a lot safer, especially when you start to use guard dodging. It just gives you so much more safety, and being able to dodge more attacks, I think, is just really, really valuable in making your play more consistent. That's why I use this. Paralyzed resistance, it's another sigil that is just on there by accident here on my damage cap. If I get a better damage cap with a different effect as a secondary trait, I'm gonna change it out for something else. For the traits, for the 2 traits that I would like to change out, I would actually like to have either a drain or cooldown reduction or something of the like. So I'm looking to get something like this. Drain, I think, would be nice to top off my health, so you can stay into your high person boost from stamina easier. We have improved healing. I'm using 2 of these, so the max out at level 30, which is the max. Improves your healing and healing cap. That goes up to 50%, quite a lot. I believe this works with potions as well. We already went over Nimble Onslaught. Potion Hoarder, very important. I'm using Potion Hoarder because, as I said, I play a support. And the main reason for that is, for taking this, is the blue potions. I want access to the blue potions so I can heal my team more often, and so I also have access to healings when I do not have my healing skill, or when people are too spread out and I cannot reach them with my healing, all of them, or because I need to heal really quickly, because you can do that even while you're being damaged or something like that. I have Guts just as a safety, so I don't die from every one-shot. Obviously, it's a long cooldown. And these are all the traits that I have. It's worth mentioning Catastrophe and Regen. They are obviously from my Terminus weapon. I'm using it because, well, it gives the most damage, and while I did a more tanky playstyle before, I kind of like being squishy. Like, I kind of enjoy being really fragile and dying quickly. It's just, I enjoy being punished for playing poorly, if that makes sense. That's why I'm running a really, really low HP build. And yeah, that is all the sigils. I think most of these won't change unless I find like a higher version or something with like 2 traits. For example, if I had Cascade with something else combined. And maybe we find other sigils in the future that might be really useful. But so far, this is my current build, and I'm working on leveling up these sigils in the future. So now we have attacks, we have the combos, we have DPS check, we have the skills, we have the sigils. Actually, for the people who are curious, my Overmastery, I have normal attack damage cap, healing cap, critical hit rate. Those are the ones that I want. Skill damage is pretty useless. I consider Cagliostro more of a normal attack damage dealer, not a skill damage dealer, so that is really valuable. Healing cap because I enjoy healing, and critical hit just to get my critical up a bit. That should be self-explanatory. So yeah, this covered everything that I think needs to be talked about. I hope I did not miss anything. If there's anything else you would like to know about Cagliostro, maybe leave it down below in the comments. As I said, this is just my interpretation of the character. Play her however you want, but for the people who want to know how I play it, that's it. We have reached over 300 subscribers, by the way. Thank you very much. I'm not sure if I'll make a 300 subscriber special video, because maybe there's a few things I would like to talk about. Anyway, this is my last video in the holidays. I have to go to work later in a few hours. which means I will be doing less content in the future. I'm really sorry about that. I try my best to make stuff, but I'm getting a lot less time in the coming weeks because as I said, I'm working again. So yeah, I'm not gonna be able to push out content as much as I can before, but I hope you can understand that. So yeah, that's it. Bye bye.